All right, folks. Angela is just getting some water, so but she's back,
I'm back. I'm
and
here.
we're just getting ready to go live on YouTube. The gremlins at YouTube are getting the feed up and running, and we're going to go ahead and get the link out there to all the people on Twix so that we can get get some good audience participation in tonight, because it's a very special Wednesday night edition of Suds News. So
hmm
uh, there's the link, and we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special Wednesday edition of Suds News. My name is Vinnie, and this is Angela, and we are here. I do want to apologize for Monday night. Monday night we couldn't get a show together due to circumstances unforeseen, and all that other stuff. But we are here tonight, Wednesday, June 26th. Can't believe it's almost July. Um, June 26th, 2024. Angela, how you been?
I have been great. How are you?
I am tired, but I am good. And I've
Yeah,
got my
I'm
coffee.
there too. Yeah, I contemplated coffee, but then I was like, no, no, I'm going to bed after this. So it's all right.
But anyway, I do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight on a very special Wednesday night edition at 10 p.m. Eastern. Next week, we'll be back at our normal Monday night time slot, which is actually July 1st already. But
Crazy.
yeah, very crazy. But I do want to let everybody know, as always, we are an official affiliate of the WWE Shop, which is a Fanatics experience. Go to sudsandsquarecircle.com/wrestling merch, and that has our affiliate code in the URL, which gives us a commission for anything you buy using that link from WWE Shop. And it helps us out with the show. So go over there and check that out. Also, the Sudsy Awards voting is still up and running. That has got another week or so up until Sunday, July 7th. So get those votes in. Go to sudsandsquarecircle.com/Sudsy voting and get those votes in for all your soap opera and wrestling opinions. Get those votes in there. Also, I do want to make mention, as announced last week on my interview with Charlie from Starkville, Mississippi, I am going ahead and doing a giveaway of his book, What Happened to Our Wrestling. So, in order to be eligible, you have to go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel and or our podcast feed for Suds and Squared Circle. Uh, Email me the screenshot proof that you subscribed to Vinnie at sudsandsquarecircle.com, and that'll put you in the running. If you subscribe to both the podcast and the YouTube, that gets you two entries in. The winner will be announced during the Sudsy Awards, which will be Sunday, July 21st. And that's where it is. You'll win a copy of this book right here. It's called What Happened to Our Wrestling by Charlie from Starkville, Mississippi. And you can go ahead and get that sent to you. All right. We've got a lot to talk about. I am completely caught up on GH, so I have watched up until today. And
hmm
there's been a lot of news going on. Last week we speculated that it could be Greg Vaughn coming back as Lucky, but it's been officially announced that it's
It's
going to be
JJ.
Jonathan Jackson coming back as Lucky.
I am so happy I was wrong about that part. I mean, Greg Vaughn was fine. And of course, he's gorgeous. But Jonathan Jackson is my lucky.
Jonathan
I didn't
Jackson.
think it was going to be him because he had said he didn't want to take jobs that didn't honor and glorify God anymore. So that kind of seemed like a soap opera was out of the running.
Yeah.
I'm happy he changed his mind
Hmm.
on many levels. There is the whole petty level
Yep.
completely, which I cop to. It makes the worst people unhappy, which is going to make me happy. I'm human, when they go high or when they go low, we go high, but I go medium because God's still working on me.
Yep.
So there's that. But then there's also the fact that it's Jonathan Jackson.
Yes.
He's amazing.
Yes, I agree. He's the original Lucky,
Mhm.
and he's coming back. So I'm glad that they're kind of fleshing the Spencer clan out again. And it was
Yes.
also announced that Brian Craig will be coming back for one episode only as Morgan. So while he was trolling everybody, it's actually true. He'll be back for one episode in August. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm assuming it's going to be as a ghost to,
Yeah, a ghost or a vision for
yeah,
probably Sunny, but also possibly Ava.
Ava. Yeah,
I think it'll be Sunny, but we'll see.
yeah.
But I was right on that one too.
Yes, you were.
That if it was going to be him, it would only be a. Mhm.
Very short stint. Yes.
I know some things. I'm kind of good at some of this, but yeah, I'm beyond thrilled about both of these things. One, Brian Craig's great, but I
Yes.
do not want another child, flesh and blood of Sonny and Carly on campus. I'm trying to kill off the last remaining one we have left. So I'm glad that, they're not putting more on my plate as far as killing off that, severing all ties there. But he's great, and that'll probably be some phenomenal scenes,
Oh yeah.
which
Absolutely.
whoever they're with.
Yeah.
And then Lucky, I just can't say enough good things about Jonathan
And it's
Jackson.
a long-term contract.
It is. It is. And he was on Burton's podcast today,
Yeah, I have not listened to that
which,
yet.
oh yeah, I jumped right on it. It was so funny too because um my Jarly friends were like, Angela, remember how you said that he'd probably show up on Burton's podcast real soon? Guess what? It's like, oh my God. So we were talking about it yesterday, and I was like, oh, I bet he's on the podcast real soon. When does this one's drop? And then today he shows up. So we listened to it in our Charlie Zoom, and it was a blast. It was good. It wasn't there are no spoilers or anything, but it was
Right.
so great. And Steve looks at him like he's chocolate covered and he just wants to eat him up because they're good friends.
Yeah. And
So
it's good because they're bringing back some veterans. Like,
mhm.
here's the thing, and there's you see all the complaints on Twix, on social media, of course, about the balance of veteran characters compared to newer characters, and why are the veteran characters like Lucy and Kevin and Laura not getting the amount of screen time, but then they're not building up the new characters like Trina and Geo and Joss, and they're getting their scenes, but you have to have that balance. And bringing Lucky back, and the fact that it's a long-term contract, there's going to be something between Lucky and Jason. You have to figure that out because of Jake.
Well, yes and no, because they had resolved all of that stuff.
They
So
have,
I'm
yeah,
not really sure that there'll be a problem. I think it'll be, Aiden, although it would be interesting. I think by the time Lucky gets back, Jason and Jake will have already resolved things because he hasn't started filming yet. He'll
yep,
start filming after. So as of they're on break.
yep,
They are on break until I think the 29th
yeah, because this
of
is the
July.
time where Josh
They take
Kelly
all of
filming the
mhm,
Marvel. So,
yep. They have the entire month of July off pretty much.
yep.
Um Also, programming note, July sweeps start tomorrow.
Oh, okay,
Tomorrow is the first day of July sweeps, just so people know.
okay,
So they're off until the very end of July, and he has not started shooting yet. I'm assuming he'll start then.
yeah,
So he'll show up probably sometime in September.
yeah,
They filmed pretty good into August before the break. So he'll show up sometime end of August, early September.
yeah.
Um, and by then, more than likely, Jason and Jake will have started fixing things.
Yeah.
If Lucky comes back before they do, I could see Jake pulling the asshole move of like clinging to Lucky as an
Oh
FU to
yeah.
Jason. But I don't think I'm not sure that Jake will be the big issue. I'm hoping that Lucky's like WSB or something like that, and they
Yeah.
work on. I would love because I've been predicting that I don't think Jason's going back to the mob, and he'd end up WSB or something like that. I would love
I think
for
you're
him,
right. And
him
I
and
mean,
Lucky
that
to
just
be
works for him. I mean, think about it. Outside of being a coffee importer, what other job skills does he have?
exactly. I mean, he parked cars at Luke.
But I mean, how many
But
times have we
yeah.
worked together with the cops, with Dante, with more over
Mhm.
Dante. But
Yeah.
he worked with the cops before as a mob
Yeah.
enforcer.
Yes. Yeah. So I think I have a feeling that we'll see him do something like that. And I would definitely think that it, and JJ said in the podcast today
Yeah.
that hearing Steve was back, because he said he's been close to coming back multiple times the past few years and just it hasn't worked out. But hearing Steve was back, it was
Hmm.
time.
That's great.
Which and they're really good friends. They owned a restaurant together in Nashville years ago.
Oh,
They've
okay.
always stayed very, very close. Um, so I think, they'd probably have fun working together like that, which would be
Yeah.
great.
And while we are happy about the news of both Brian Craig and Jonathan Jackson showing back up in Port Charles, we do have to say goodbye very soon to Michael Easton, who
Tomorrow.
just got done filming his final scenes. No, this week is.
His last scenes are tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
He posted a day early
Okay.
because I don't know if you remember when the breakdowns were messed up a couple weeks ago. They had
Yeah.
left out a day
Yep.
and because they had split up some stuff and shifted things around. So his final script had today's date on it, but it actually ended up getting pushed back a day. Tomorrow is his final day.
Okay. So, all right. Well, the way it made it seem was that he just got done
Right.
filming.
Oh, I know. The video he had posted a while. And the thing is that, the thing is he posted that video this morning
Yeah.
at like 10 or 11 o'clock
Yeah.
and it was dark out.
True. Yeah.
He shot that a while ago. Yeah, he's been gone for a while.
Yeah. And it's just something where people are gonna say, oh, well, they got rid of Finn to bring back
Mhm.
Jonathan Jackson, or they got rid of Michael Easton to bring back Jonathan Jackson, just like they got rid of Roger Howard to get money to bring back Steve Burton.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and
And
people are gonna
that's
be cranky and complain, of course. You can't complain about Jonathan Jackson coming back, though. I mean,
but no. I mean, I liked Michael Easton.
yeah,
I liked Finn. I mean, they weren't my favorites, either of them. I mean, I think he's great, but never has been my favorite. I liked Finn. I thought he had a good place on the canvas as a doctor, yada yada. But I'm not devastated he's leaving.
right.
Especially because, I mean, the timing of this, like a lot of people, I saw a lot of people going, "Oh, they're getting rid of Michael Easton because they're pairing Jason and Liz."
No,
No, no, no. They made the decision to get rid of him when they made the decision to bring JJ back.
yeah,
I mean, of that timing is beyond obvious at this
of
point,
course,
so
and it makes sense too. It makes
yes.
total sense. Um, so we did, last week see a lot of stuff with Finn, getting drunk again.
Mhm.
He goes into the um he's ready to come back to work. You
Yep.
see Elizabeth go to Portia and Terry and talk about Finn's drinking, and they call him into the office and say, listen, we want you to take some more time. We want you to, get yourself together, and they want to see him sober.
Yeah.
You can't fault them.
I mean, I agree, but I don't
Yep.
because he wasn't drunk.
Right.
He had not drank before, there was no
Right.
signs that he was. And they basically put him on, they basically punished him
For his father dying.
preemptively.
Yeah.
Right. And his problem, he wasn't lying when he told Liz and Alexis that his problem wasn't alcohol.
Right.
I mean, the grief exasperated. I can't even talk tonight. You know what I
Exacerbated.
mean.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So the grief, had that effect with, upping the thing with the alcohol, but alcohol wasn't his problem.
No.
And I think that, I mean, it was to serve a purpose
Yeah.
to get him out, and that's,
Yeah, it was a very
Michael
popular
Easton
way
has
to get
one
rid.
hell of an Emmy reel.
Oh yeah.
so good.
Yeah, absolutely. He does.
Yeah.
And it's just a convoluted way to get around. It's almost like it came out of nowhere. Like they literally
Yeah.
made the decision to bring back Jonathan Jackson to get rid of Michael Easton. And
Hmm.
okay, well let's figure out a story on how to get him out. And that's what it boils down to. And they went back to the addiction, and because it's like I understand, and somebody pointed this out, um, that Curtis is a former addict, and he's seen
Hmm.
drinking wine and beer all the
Right.
time. So
Hmm.
okay, but it does boil down to the fact of different addictive personalities, and
Right.
if that's where they're going with Finn, that one drink leads to another, and whatever. But you got to feel bad for him.
It's not, oh, absolutely. And it's also not like they could have him just suddenly start injecting the cure for
Right.
Blackwoods again. You
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
It's alcoholic slip, yes. But the other one would have just been whatever. So it's fine.
Yeah.
But I definitely do feel bad for him. I don't think in any way, shape, or form he was the bad guy
No.
in this.
No.
Um, but I don't think other people were necessarily the bad guy either. They were trying to do what they thought was right. These are one of those things that are a no-win situation.
You're absolutely right.
However, the performance we got from the Jane mother effing Elliot when
Yes.
she was taking the pictures of Finn. Oh my, I was in awe
Oh yeah.
watching. Not even like a word was said. And I was just in awe. Like she's upset. Oh my God, that woman.
And then even in today's episode where
Hmm.
he comes over and he hugs
Hmm.
her, and she goes right up to him, and
Oh
you know
yeah.
when all these people, because every conversation that took place between last week and this week with Finn, and whether it was Finn and Tracy, or Finn and even Diane, or Finn and Scotty, and just all these people were trying to help him out. And that's not even counting Finn and Chase or Finn and Elizabeth.
Hmm.
It was just all these people
Yeah.
talking to him, and telling him point blank, listen, we love you, we care about you. Violet is most important. And it's like
Yeah.
you got to feel for the guy, because he's not seen clearly. He's
Yes.
he's in the throes of addiction because he's
Hmm.
justifying everything. He's being selfish. He's being combative,
Absolutely.
and it's like
Without a doubt. Now, one of the soap opera news sites that is a reliable one
okay.
had posted something to, it was the one I used to write for actually before I had left to start my own thing with Tony, had posted in their article about Michael Easton, um, how they were writing him off.
Mhm.
And then they took it down and they changed it. I don't know if they took it down because they found it wasn't true. I don't know if they took it down because they were told, no, I don't see how it gets there from
Yeah.
today, kind of. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
So what they had said is that that he's being written off, that they're killing Finn off. He's the victim of a hit on Ava, an unintended hit on Ava. Now,
That
I'm
sounds like
sitting there
something that
trying
would have
to
been
figure
awesome.
out, I'm trying to figure out how they would get there.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, it would explain how they're going to get around not bringing him back after 90 days.
Yeah. Agreed.
And and then and it would also his like sudden turnaround and agreeing to go to rehab, so he goes out like the good guy.
Yeah.
But then again, then it's like, well, if they were just going to do that anyway,
Yeah.
why do all of this? Just kill him. But then it's tomorrow's the first day of sweeps,
Yeah.
and that would be one hell of a kickoff for sweeps. I don't know.
Right.
They took it down. I don't know why they took it down and took it out of the article. They did. There could be a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
One of them is that it's just not true and they found that out. The other one is that it is true and they were like, they were told, if you do not take this down, you're never getting another breakdown from the show again. I mean, it could
Yeah.
be a million things. Um, but yeah, so I'm interested to see if there is a big twist tomorrow.
Yeah. That's a very good possibility. I mean, because
Yeah.
again, it's almost you make a good point. That's why it's almost like I thought when I heard about the video that Michael Eason posted, okay, so they're going to send him to rehab. He's going to come back for a week or two, and then because he's not working at GH anymore, he's going to move to another area of town or whatever.
Right.
That was my original thought. But if tomorrow's his last scenes that he filmed,
Yeah.
then then we'll have to see where it goes to because
Well, also the thing is that they want to keep Violet.
yeah,
So killing him also helps that. But at the same time, they can also send him to rehab. And
mhm,
then they have a conversation where, oh, Finn successfully completed rehab. He had a great reunion with Violet, but he's decided that that he needs to go do Doctors Without Borders, but he doesn't want to disrupt her life. So she's staying here.
yeah,
And that all happened off screen. And
right,
we just hear about it.
and that's logical.
That's possible as well. It would make sense. It would line up. I'm just interested really to see tomorrow,
Yeah, absolutely
see
agree.
what they do.
Yeah. And that's either one of those things are a good possibility. So we'll have to see which way the
Mhm.
writers play.
Yep.
Um,
Which is always fun.
yeah, oh yeah, it is. It really is. Mac is back.
Mac is back and Cody.
Yes.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to see. I like somebody said, oh, John J. York broke the fourth wall, on his day back saying it's good to be home, like kind of talking to the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
Which is all, it's fun. The
Mhm.
fact is that he looks good, he looks great.
He
He
looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I made a comment. Facially, he looks like Chuck Norris. And I got heat from James Lott Jr. about that because he called him the Silver Fox.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, he looks damn good.
Yeah,
And I loved the scenes of him and Felicia making out on the couch. And
yeah,
she was like, no, no, no. He's like, oh, we've been away from each other for a long time, baby. I want this. That was great. I loved
yeah,
that.
it was. Somebody said that Christina Wagner looked uncomfortable during those makeout scenes, and I didn't get that.
I didn't get that either. And I'd be very surprised by that because she's worked with him for so long.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't
I don't
imagine.
understand
I
people
didn't
who think
pick
stuff like
that up at all. The only thing I got from it was that she was like a mom and a grandma going, we're
that.
on our daughter's couch, our grandkids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if maybe it was that she was trying to act, that Felicia was uncomfortable, which
Yeah.
would make sense. But I didn't get that the actress was.
Yeah.
No.
But I am really happy to see them going to the direction of Cody finally revealing that he's Mac's son, because again, you get so close and you get those cliffhangers where like even on today's episode where uh Cody said, or Mac asked for forgiveness because I'm sorry, I thought originally you were a con man, whatever, and you almost had the feeling, all right, Cody's going to say, no, I'm sorry because of XYZ. We changed the paternity test and you are my father and this and that. But I I do want to see that actually come full circle finally.
Yes. Oh, me too. I'm very looking forward to. I'm one of the few, that likes Cody, the idea of Cody as Mac's son. I'm looking forward to that storyline. I like Cody and Sasha.
Yeah.
I'm here for all of it. I like
Okay.
Cody and Tracy's friendship.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh yeah.
It snuck up on me. Liking Cody snuck
Oh
up
yeah.
on me.
I'm big into Cody. I liked Cody from the very beginning. And yeah, throughout the thing with Brit and with the dating app and all that, that was just the old writing regime. I'm not even gonna get into it. Um,
Yep.
but I am very happy that Cody and Sasha are getting together. I like that
Mhm.
Cody's coming clean and he's part of the legacy family of the
Mhm.
Scorpios, and maybe he'll end up changing his last name to Scorpio at some point down the future.
Which would be a lot of fun. Cody
Yes.
Scorpio. And then
But
maybe someday Sasha Scorpio.
well, there you go.
Yeah, no, baby Scorpio. Just kidding. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm absolutely here for this and I love it. And
Oh yeah.
I loved the scenes with Sasha and Cody with Gio. With
Yes.
the
That
and
was
poor
amazing.
Cody is just like, we could still, and she's like, no, let's just snuggle here. And he's okay. Poor guy.
Yep. Absolutely.
Those were a lot of fun with, yeah, poor Gio doesn't, thought he was just gonna go not bother anybody.
Yeah, well, something's always bound to happen on a quarter minute estate
Oh,
somewhere.
I love, I love them stacking that place wall to wall with people. It's
Nice.
gonna be so fun. I
Yeah.
think it's great.
Yeah, because Cody and
Mhm.
Sasha, you still have Michael, Willow, and the two kids there.
Yeah.
And
And
you gotta love Tracy.
Tracy, Lois,
Yep,
Ned, Olivia, and now Karina and Joss, and
yep.
I'm all over this.
Oh yeah, and just the way that Tracy puts it, and you're always gonna have kids running in and out of these
Exactly.
hallways. She's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
so
yeah, Brooklyn Chase Willow. Yeah, I
yeah,
know. Drew lives there,
yeah,
and then he's going to be running for office.
yeah. And
Yeah, this
you
is
can
just
name the
going to be all
quarterman.
kinds of soapy fun.
Oh
I
yeah.
love this. I absolutely love them all there. It reminds me um
Well,
of
those are the good old
back
days.
in the day when Edward,
Yeah,
Lila, and it's been like a ghost town
yeah.
almost compared to how lively that place used to be back in the day.
Dude,
Jason riding his motorcycle
I can't
into
wait
it.
for Thanksgiving this year if that house
Oh,
is filled. And let's see how they go ahead and with Sasha now as the cook, let's see how they have to order pizza this year.
that's going to be interesting. It's this is my prediction. Sasha is going to get sick. She's going to have a cold. She's going to have some illness that she cannot prepare food.
Yep.
And she's going to be sniffly and she's going to be at the stable with Cody because she doesn't want to get anybody else in the house sick.
Yep.
So Olivia and Lois are each both going to plan on cooking
Yeah.
and it's going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah. I,
Yeah, that I can totally, yeah.
I just love how creative they've become with how to get around that.
Yeah.
Whether it's Leo setting the live turkey out,
Hmm.
or Monica donating their Thanksgiving dinner to the
Yeah.
hospital. Oh my God, just absolutely hilarious. I
Yeah.
love how they do that. So
Hmm.
see how they write that. Speaking of babies, though, Christina and Molly are heading for some type of showdown. Because first off, we've seen some trouble in paradise with Molly and TJ, and
Yes.
they're on the rocks at this point.
Well, no, because they had their makeup
They did have
sex.
their, yes, they did.
And here's my thing. I think there's a possibility that Molly's going to end up pregnant from that.
That's what I was thinking too.
And then
Now
Molly
there's
will be
two babies.
like, well, we can just let Christina keep that baby then. And
Yeah,
TJ will be like, but wait a minute, that one's mine too.
yeah. But
And
then
that could
you
be
know,
some fun
yeah. And then
soapiness.
today with Christina going to Alexis and saying, "Could you look this over so that just in case Molly and TJ fall apart, I can keep the baby."
And Alexis is like, I don't want no part of this.
Yep.
No, no, no. No, no, no. Give your sister back her stuffed animal. You know that's hers.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah, yeah, it's totally, yeah.
But the way that Alexis asked, do you in the back of your mind really, are you
Mhm.
wanting Molly and
Yeah.
TJ to break up? Calling her out.
No.
Yeah.
So full of it.
Yep.
She ain't giving that baby up.
No.
And they filmed because they did some behind the scenes stuff showing them at the hospital and stuff like that. So they filmed the
The birth.
birth of the baby before they left because she's due in August, so that made sense. Yeah.
So Kate Manzi is really pregnant.
No.
No. Okay. All right. The way that.
Oh, so no, Christina's due in August. They have said
Okay.
9 million
Yeah.
times. This is like the shortest pregnancy in the world, which is ironic because when Alexis was pregnant with Christina, it was like 3 years.
I did see. Yeah.
She had like an elephant pregnancy with that child. It was bizarre. But Christina then has, because I guess she just built up
Yeah.
in the womb. She
Yeah.
built up. Yeah.
Um. But I do like that yesterday's episode where it was Christina and Blaze and Sunny and Ava, not Ava, Natalia,
Natalia.
and it's like that is such a weird combination to have those four because it's almost like a Brady Bunch situation, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
got the two kids who met first, Christina
Right.
and Blaze, and now you have Sunny wooing Natalia, and it's like something's gonna happen, you know.
Yeah.
However, I have to say that I really like the way that Natalia is almost softening up to Christina, you know,
Yes.
and the way that Christina stood up to Ava for about Alexis, and
Mm-hmm.
just that whole thing. It's almost like you're kind of seeing in real time the scales fall off the eyes of Natalia and be like, this is a good
Yeah.
girl. And if
Mm-hmm.
my daughter loves her and she loves my daughter, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of throwing her
And
river.
and that's what I've thought is that this would be an evolution story
Oh
for
yeah.
Natalia. And I mean, I think that they were, hedging their bets with Ava and Sunny while they chem tested Sunny and Natalia, but they like the Sunny and Natalia thing,
Yeah.
is what I'm thinking, which is why they went the other way with Ava. Um, which is going to be interesting to see what happens because she has that tape
Yeah.
and she's not happy
No.
at all.
No. The hell hath no
So
fury like Ava
I'll
Jerome.
have exactly,
And just the way that things are going, especially because it's going to be ugly with Avery in the mix and the custody battle. And Scott has become uh the custody person
right?
now, custody lawyer, and he's going to
Well,
go up against Diane because Sonny's got Diane on retainer.
well, I mean, yes and no, because Diane tomorrow is going to be very involved with tomorrow she's with Carly. So
Oh,
she's going to be involved with that mix. However, Alexis is getting her law license back
that's
very
right. Yes.
quickly. And
Yep.
her and Sunny mended all those fences.
Yep.
And she's got a bone to pick with Ava.
Oh yeah. Oh
So I
yeah.
think Alexis may end up because Diane's also going to have to be involved in the Molly and Christina thing on
That's
one
right.
side or the other.
Yeah.
So
It's almost like they need another lawyer in town. So why can't we bring Nora Buchanan back?
I think they should bring back Rick Hurst. He was also a
Rick
lawyer.
Hurst, yeah. I mean, or we could bring back Montgomery from My Children.
Martin too.
Yeah, Martin too. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's on
we have
hiatus
plenty
for
of
a while.
lawyers. Yeah,
Yeah,
but we have the lawyers available. But
we
we'll see
do.
what happens with it. Um, but yeah, so yeah, it's going to be interesting with Ava, and she has that tape. She also has that knowledge about Sonny,
Oh yeah.
and she can
She has
trigger
a
him.
lot of dirt.
God, yeah.
But see,
And she
here's
knows
where it
about
could
the
backfire.
medications
Here's where
and
it could backfire on Ava though, is that if she comes back and says, "Oh, Sonny's taking 25% of his medication," you know, the finger pointing goes at her because there's no proof that she can, say, "Oh, I just had it tested because, I care about Sonny and whatever," without her coming clean
right.
at the very beginning to say, hey, there's something wrong with your medication.
Right. Right. Yeah. But the thing is too is that Ava's got her back against the wall
Yeah.
right now. So you know, she's at her most dangerous.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Do you think that Lucky, just kind of jumping back, do you think that Lucky's the one that bought Windermere?
No,
No.
no.
So we still have that in the pocket of
Mhm.
who bought Windermere.
They do, but it also could just be
A dead
they
end
just didn't want
storyline.
to deal with the set anymore and they didn't need to, so they just put it away.
Yeah.
It could be that easy,
Yeah.
you know. It really could.
All right. So let's see. We got more to go over. So I mean, a lot of it had to do with Finn and his exit story. Finn and
Mhm.
Violet, Finn in the hospital, Finn and Elizabeth. Um, and
There was other things last week though that were real, real good.
well, you're right, there were. Um, and I have a feeling that you know, you're talking about Sam going to Carly and letting her
Not
know.
just that, not just that, but yes, that as well. Spinelli and Sam,
Yes.
where Spinelli was just like, he did it for love. And she's like, son of a bitch, he did it for Carly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I mean, I love when Spinelli and Sam work together. I think that's a very good pairing
Hmm.
um as PIs. So I hope they continue that. But when Sam went to Carly with the news
The fact that she went to Carly
instead of
is
Jason.
instead of Jason was typical,
Yeah.
but foobar
Yeah.
because she's like the audience blames Carly
Yeah.
for Jason's actions.
Right.
Like Carly holds a gun to this man's head
Right.
and forces him to put her first.
Yeah. Which is obviously not true because Jason has free will and he's the one who
Mhm.
chose you know, to work for the
Yeah,
FBI in in exchange for not arresting.
exactly.
And one thing I have
And
to say is Carly puts herself in in the crosshairs so many times after finding out that she was the one that Kate was originally after. What does she do? She sits down and has wine with him and
yes, but he showed up with the champagne. She
showed
didn't
up.
go to
Right,
him. So
right.
she was still reeling from everything she had just found out and was trying to figure out what the hell this guy's angle was.
Which I understand.
Because I mean, I think Carly handled it amazingly well
Yeah.
because Carly can go crazy.
Oh, she can. Absolutely.
She didn't.
Right. But you know what? The other thing is like John Kate. Now, obviously, there's always that shade of gray in soap operas. You're never going to have completely good, completely bad, and especially with law enforcement, you're not going to have completely good and completely bad.
Right.
But it seems to me like now they're having John Cates as the heel in the story, and Brennan, who's in prison, as the baby face. I know he's got his shady side, but he's the
Well,
one that's kind of giving
I
Carly the
don't
information she needs. And Anna.
I don't think that Hates is a bad guy,
Yep.
but I think he may inadvertently be working for him or her. I think he could be a useful idiot.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing.
And
The enlightened one or the
the true believer,
believer. That's
the
what it was.
true believer thing. And I don't know that I don't think Brennan is like completely evil. I loved his talk with Anna where he was like, Luke's got to pay his bills.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal. It was business. And his thing with Carly, I thought was interesting. And I know a lot of people blasted her for going to him. I think he's going to end up being the one to help her.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think, he was the head of the WSB and he
Yeah.
was talking about how you can't erase evidence from the FBI from the outside, but he was the head of the WSB. He doesn't have any friends at the FBI.
Yeah.
And it would have the added benefit of being an FU to John Cates.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't cost him anything. It doesn't hurt him.
Right.
His evidence isn't on a server. The stuff they're holding him for isn't on a server that it can be erased.
Right.
But this, and he's got a soft spot for her. And what the hell? And I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Jason's protecting Carly from choices she made as a grown person. Here's the thing. Canon is canon. And we have to deal with what happened on screen.
Yes.
And the story in 2021 was that Carly had to go to that meeting.
Yes.
She had no choice.
Right.
Because Cyrus was going to target her and Jason and their families.
Yes.
Which is why they had that big whole elaborate plan to break Jason out of prison. And then he screwed up the plan and got himself shot. So it had to be her. She couldn't send a guard to pretend to be the head. It had to be her. He had no choice. That was said in 2021.
Yep.
It was said again now.
Yep.
It wasn't Carly just being crazy Carly.
No.
She was there because she was there to fix Jason's screw up.
Yeah, because Jason went back to get
wrong to try to save Britt, but it screwed things up for the plan, and she was the only one that could then step in to keep their family safe. And not just hers, but Jason's as well. And I've heard people go, oh, well, she could have just taken her kids and left. Was she also going to take Liz, her kids, Sam, and her kids?
Right.
Let's throw Dante in there for, I mean, Dante wasn't, I guess, but, seriously.
Yeah.
Was she going to pack them all up and what?
Exactly.
Cyrus, by the time Jason was okay, Cyrus would have taken over.
Yeah.
So they could have never come back. Any of, I mean, it was just, she did what she had to do.
Yeah.
And Jason knows that she was there because he screwed up.
Yeah.
Which is all the more reason he could not let her take the fall for this.
Exactly. And that's where the logic comes in behind the entire story. It's not just because Jason loves Carly, Jason's going to always do anything for Carly. He knows that if he had not made that mistake, she would have never been in that situation before, in the first place. So, it does. That's where the logic comes in.
And they said that, and it wasn't a rewrite because they said it back then too. Yeah. I mean, I know that there's a whole narrative that Carly just makes messes and Jason has to clean them up all the time. But it's actually been a long, long time since Carly has made a mess that Jason had to clean up.
Yeah.
And people also forget how many messes she has cleaned up for him and for Sonny.
Yeah.
She is why both of them are not in prison many times over. She sniffed out Hannah. Mm-hmm. She dumped drugs that were planted in the warehouse. She got Jason off on the charges.
Before my time.
That was in the 90s. Somebody had planted drugs in the warehouse and Jason found them just as the cops were showing up. And he shoved them into her hand and said, hide these and get rid of them. And she went, okay.
Okay.
And did it.
Yeah.
He had killed Lorenzo and was on trial for it.
And that's when they got married.
And she teamed up. No. She teamed up with Jerry, and who she hated.
Yeah.
And made the deal with Jerry that she would go lighter on him and so he can try to fix his relationship with his brother. Mm-hmm. In exchange, he helped her fabricate evidence that Lorenzo wasn't actually dead to get Jason off on the murder charges because they had Jason dead to rights.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. Carly Sonny was dating Hannah, who was an FBI agent undercover, and Carly was the one who sniffed it out.
Wow. Okay.
Carly was suspicious of Hannah, going, wait, there is something not right about her. And Jason was like, leave it alone. You're just jealous because she flirted with me. And then she was on to Sonny. And Carly was just like, nope, there is something not. And she figured out that Hannah was and saved their asses. And Jason
Wow.
has said this. Carly has saved them just as, I mean, Sunny's never saved her from anything, but Carly has saved them multiple times.
Yeah.
She destroyed the evidence of him Sunny killing AJ. And
Yeah.
all she got for it, her, troubles was her son mad at her, like she had pulled the trigger,
Yeah.
even though she didn't even find out about it till after it was done. Carly's just not this eternal. It's been a long time since she has just screwed up to screw up, and Jason had to fix things.
Yeah. No, you're right. And we've seen the evolution of that character,
Hmm.
and
Sorry, I know I get on my soapbox a little bit. It's just
no,
I get
it
so
makes total sense.
infuriated dealing with the people on Twitter who refuse to acknowledge actual canon history.
Yeah. Exactly. Although I have seen you get into a couple of little tiffs over on Twix this past week.
I have. What are you talking about? I get into little tips on Twix every single day. Are you kidding me? It's like a job. I clock in the morning at some point. I wake up and I'm like opening up Twitter going, what shit show awaits me? And it's always something. It's
Yeah.
always something. But it's all right.
Um, all right,
I'm
switching
fully
gears. We're going to take a break from GH for 1 minute, because we've gone over basically everything that's gone on in the past
oh,
week and a half.
there was something else we have to hit on, but go ahead.
Um, I have you ever watched Studio City? Sean
I have
King.
watched all of Studio City
Okay.
multiple times. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
That's the next show that I am getting into. That I'm going to be
It's
getting into.
phenomenal.
And it's like I'm not here's where I look at things is because
Mhm.
I don't want to be just watching the main four soaps. You know, I love GH, so I'm going to stick with GH. Days right now is dragging for me. YNR has been
Mhm.
dragging for a while. Bold is pretty good, and I'll probably get back into Bold. I love the Bay, and I want to get into Studio City because I feel like they have the edgier product.
It's phenomenal. And I know that it's short episodes,
Yeah, like
but
the Bay.
there's no filler.
Yeah,
There's no filler. You don't feel like you've just watched a short episode because it's all important stuff. It's
yep.
all meat, and it's great. I love it.
And
I cannot say enough about Studio City.
Sean Kanan actually put out a tweet or a post, I should say, on Twix,
Yes, because they
regarding
have it available on new
on
platforms.
yeah on the Roku channel,
Roku, and then they're
and
putting it up on Tubi, I think.
they're putting up something to that effect.
Hmm.
But that's going to be the next thing that I'm going to get into, and I know
Hmm.
that the guys over Matt and Kat from the 10th floor said that they had gone ahead and um covered season one.
Hmm.
So yeah, so Studio City is now streaming on the Roku channel, Cineverse Entertainment. So and why looking at who was tagged, a lot of them are crossovers with not only the regular
Hmm.
shows, the regular shows, but
Hmm.
also the Bay.
Listen, so there's only a couple seasons of
Yeah,
Studio City.
yeah.
And before the last one dropped a while back, I had conducted interviews about that season with the majority of the cast,
Oh, okay.
but then was never able to do anything with those interviews.
Really?
So, if you would like,
Yeah.
maybe we could do something and do snippets from those interviews.
That actually sounds really good, and we'll have to get that up and running. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I interviewed Tristan Rogers. He called me love at the end of our conversation, and I felt like I could just die happy there.
Yeah.
I interviewed Carolyn Hennessy. I've interviewed Sean Kanan 9 gazillion times. I interviewed Justin Torkelson. I interviewed just pretty much everybody. Lily Melgar, who was on, James Law. I interviewed all of them about that season.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I
Um,
can absolutely.
my goal is
Now I
to,
can finally do something with those, and I can make articles about them and put them on my site. We can do a whole thing.
yeah, my goal is to start watching it maybe this weekend. So,
Hmm.
um, you know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be I am absolutely loving the Bay, and I
Hmm.
can't wait for the new batch of episodes to drop because
Hmm.
once I'm hoping season 8 drops soon.
Yeah.
Um, and I cannot wait to start to get into Studio City. It's just edgier programming.
It's phenomenal. And I think it's the future of soaps.
Yes,
And they're not done. They're trying to make more. They're just, it's a matter of a lot of different things. But it's the future of soaps. It really is.
yeah.
And I just, it's so good. It is so, 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 so good.
Do you think that because Days is now streaming only? Well, you can't
Hmm.
really go by Days because Peacock has very strict rules in terms of what content they'll show.
Hmm.
Um, you know, they're you know they censor a lot of stuff, and that comes from me being bitter about them censoring a lot of WWE stuff in the archives because I'm
Hmm.
totally against censorship. So,
Hmm.
I don't like the fact of, oh well, Roddy Piper doing it during an interview of WrestleMania 5 painted half of his body black for part of a storyline, so they took out the entire part. I don't like that.
Right.
That pissed me off. But
Yeah.
it'll be moving to Netflix in a couple of years anyway, so um that's fine with me. But anyways, yeah, so I agree. I think that the streaming is going to be the way of the future. Do you think that Days needs to have a refresh in terms of having edgier content because they're streaming only?
No.
No?
No, their people are their people, and it's their viewers are their viewers. I don't think it's
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, they've done a little bit, they had the threesome, they
Yeah.
had, you know, the naked butt and, and things like that. But no, I don't think they're going to have to go. Days is, they've already got their niche. They're
Yeah.
the campy soap. And I know they're kind of lullish right now, but they do that. They have the,
Yeah.
you know, peaks and valleys.
It's sad because I really think when Prospect Park rebooted All My Children and One Life to Live, they were very much ahead of their time
Hmm.
because
Yes, it was too early.
it was way too early because a lot of the complaints were, and I think here's the thing, and I think it's because they took an established brand and completely changed it.
Yeah.
They were swearing just to swear because they could. You know what I mean? So it's like they did give edgier programming, but
Hmm.
the fans, the audience who had like that established brand were
Yeah.
upset because it was changed.
Hmm.
And again, relating it to wrestling, when WWE
Yeah.
relaunched ECW in 2006, that's what it was, ECW in name only, because they changed the brand. Had they called it something different, had
Right.
these two other shows been named something completely different, even if it was a spin-off
A spin-off of,
of
yeah,
One Life to Live or One Life
name
to,
them Pine Valley and Landview. Something,
yeah,
something that
something.
wasn't, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because people
So
tuned in expecting to see the continuation of the same
right.
thing. And it was also, I mean, it was, I honestly think their bigger issue was that it was just too soon in the streaming game.
It was way too soon.
Way too soon.
If they
So,
had come maybe 5 years, 6 years later,
mhm,
maybe even a decade later, it could have still been on now. And you
yeah.
could have had an entire genre of web series in terms of web soaps with The Bay,
Mhm.
with Studio City, with
Mhm.
Neighbors,
Yeah.
which I still have not seen anything.
Yeah, that's on my summer list to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so there is a lot there that's still
Mhm.
out there that's left to be explored. Do
Right.
we
I
know
agree.
do we know anything about the spin-off that Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos were supposedly putting together?
It's right now it's dead in the water.
Really?
We'll see. Yeah. It's not moving forward right now, but you never know. I mean, I think all eyes are on the gates.
Yeah, the Gates is the next big.
All eyes are on the gates. So that will, you know, yeah.
Do you think that Susan Lucci will ever make a cameo on General Hospital? Because they do mention Erica
I know
King
that
a
she
number
has
of times.
talked about it, and I know she's talked to Frank about it. It hasn't happened yet. I know that she's planning on, if the All My Children reboot
Yeah,
happens, that she's going to take part in that. I think that might be the holdup.
yeah.
I think she may be waiting to see
But
if,
wouldn't
you know what I mean? Because that would
yeah,
be, if they're going to do that, she wants that to be her return to Suits. She might do one after that,
yeah.
but she's not going to steal the thunder
But
of
wouldn't that be
Susan's big return.
wouldn't that be such a great marketing
Oh,
across the
it
board?
absolutely could. It could be something that they use to advertise it if
Right.
they decide to go
Exactly.
forward with it. And that, you know what I mean? That I could see.
Yeah.
I just don't think it would be before that.
Yeah.
So,
So let's hope that does
yeah.
come to fruition because I mean
Mhm.
the Erica King character is an
Oh,
icon.
oh God, yes.
So
God, yes. Mhm.
oh, I mean speaking of icons, we do have to unfortunately give a couple of condolences out to a number of people. First off, in the wrestling world, Sika and Hawaii, Roman Reigns' father, passed away yesterday at the age of, I believe, 78.
Mhm.
But also today we found out that, oh, I have to find it now. Oh, Mamma Mia. Of course. We did have a member of the Bay audience pass away. Um, but it was also an actor at 90 years old. Uh,
Mm.
let's see. I have to, there we go. Bill Cobbs, uh,
Mhm.
90 years old, passed away. He played the chief editor of Bay City, Boyd Bloom, in a couple of earlier episodes of the Bay. So he did pass away today at the age of 90. Um, and then so there's been a number of deaths recently. Just
Mm.
never stops, never stops.
Never stops.
Um, but anyways, all right. So let's see. You said there's one other big thing that we did not talk about in terms of GH. So
Yes.
go right ahead and refresh my memory.
Jason and Carly in the warehouse.
Yep. Okay.
That scenes where she was asked, talking about the Drew stuff, which whatever, that was fine. But then
Yeah.
their last scene where where she, wanted to know why what was so important. And they had that emotionally charged moment and the teary eyes and the voice cracking, I have a job to do. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have chosen to stay away from my
Yeah.
sons, my family, and you. But I'm
Yeah.
going to finish this and I'm going to take my life back and it's the life I want.
Yeah.
And then she had that look on her face, like when he tried to kiss her at the Metro Court and it was all real awkward. And then we
Yeah.
had Spinelli telling her, Jason loves you like I love Maxie.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Friday. This is going to be
Yeah.
fun. I
Oh,
don't know
I
if there's anybody who has any doubt whatsoever that this is a Jason and Carly story. Actually, I do know that there are people that have a lot of doubt. I don't understand why, but you know,
yeah.
I just want to say those were my favorite parts. And I don't know if anybody saw or not, if you saw it or not, but ratings went up a little bit last week
So here's the thing,
across the board.
because you said the ratings went up across the board. I'm seeing the complete opposite from a lot of these so-called experts.
I'm looking. So, so the week of June 10th through the 14th,
Hmm.
in the women 18 to 49 demographic, 0.19.
Hmm.
June 12th, June 17th through the 21st, which was last week, 0.20.
Oh, there
That
you
was up.
go. Yeah.
The women 25 to 54, last week, 0.31, this week, 0.34.
Yeah.
That's up.
Yeah.
Last week, households, 0.12, then this week's 1.3.
Yeah,
1.2 to 1.3. That's up.
it's up.
Total viewers, 1.897 million last time. This week's 1.928 million.
Yeah, so
Up
it's going up.
across the board. They are still down from the same week last year,
Yeah,
but so is every show. So is every
everything is
soap.
down. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every soap is down from the same time last year. General Hospital went up across the board last week.
So I mean, for those
And
of
the
you
week
who are
before,
complaining,
they
yeah,
had gone down across the week of June 10th through the 14th. They went down across the board from the week before that. I sat there, I made a little list, and so compared the last 4 weeks.
yeah.
So yes, they
So
went up across the board last week.
and you cannot argue with numbers. So I'm sorry for those of you who think the ratings are going down. You know, yes, there's a lot to be contributed to the fact that people are cutting the cord, and
Mhm.
the fact the Nielsen rating system is outdated.
Absolutely outdated. Well, another thing people don't understand also is that, so Nancy Lee Grahn did a Zoom last weekend.
Yep.
And I wasn't in it, but I had heard from a couple people now because I was like, did anybody else hear this? Because I heard something from one person. So she was asked, she said that they're going to be announcing Chris Van Eaton as the new co-head writer soon. She
Okay.
didn't know when. And she also said, because she was asked about the ratings, and she said, we're not concerned about the ratings.
Yeah.
And the show does incredibly well on streaming.
Yeah.
And I've been screaming this from the rooftops that the
Yeah.
Nielsen's are not what people think they are.
Yeah.
And the Nielsen's are not the whole picture. And nobody believes me. And everybody's like, oh, the show's on the verge of cancellation. It's not. It's
No.
simply not. It's still the highest rated thing that ABC has in the daytime
Yep.
across all demographics. And it wins its time slot. It's
Yeah.
not competing against Jen and the Restless. It's not competing against Bold and the Beautiful. It's competing against its own daytime lineup on ABC and against things in its time slot. And
Right.
it wins both of those.
Yep.
Period. End of story.
The only thing
That's
that
it.
could possibly throw a monkey wrench into that is when the Gates premieres, because we still don't know what time slot that it's going in.
And here's my thing.
Do you think CBS
I know that
the
there are
Gates
a
on
lot
in
of
that time
people who
slot?
are excited about the Gates, and it will probably go in the time slot opposite General Hospital. But here's the thing. It is a new soap opera.
Yeah, it's got to
It is
gain
a
the following.
niche. It has to gain its own following.
Yes.
It's not gonna, and now, and also, people don't need to choose anymore.
No. You DVR one and watch the other.
DVR and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I am not concerned that the Gates are gonna kill General Hospital. I'm really not.
No.
I'm gonna watch both, but
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about the Gates
No, it's
hurting
not
General
going to be.
Hospital. It's a new soap opera, and there's a reason there hasn't been a new soap opera in what,
30
20
years, 40
years,
years.
30, you know what I mean? There's a reason for it
Yeah.
because soap operas are very niche.
Yeah.
And I am excited about this soap opera, but it is also more niche
Yeah.
than the usual soap opera because it's focusing. I'm excited for it. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
saying this is a bad thing at all. I'm just saying that it makes its struggle harder
Yeah.
to
Well,
gain an
it's the same
audience.
thing. It's the same thing we see in wrestling.
Mhm.
WWE compared to AEW. AEW pro wrestling itself is a niche audience. And then you take AEW that caters to the indie-minded fan, which
Mhm.
is even more niche of a niche. So
Right.
that's why their ratings are tanking, not to mention their storylines suck and everything. But compared to what WWE is doing, where SmackDown and Raw both do over
Mhm.
1 million viewers
Yeah.
a week, whereas AEW, 600,000-700,000. So
Mhm.
it's going to be the same thing. If you're gonna put something up against an established brand, you're not going to get to that point. GH is established for 61 years.
Exactly.
By the time it comes up, 62. So
And the majority of viewers of every soap opera
yeah.
are people like my 96-year-old aunt
Hmm.
who watches Young and the Restless and she turns it on every day when it starts and turns it off every day when it's over.
Yep.
She's not looking at another soap opera.
Right. She's not watching Bold and
She's
Beautiful
not.
beforehand.
Exactly. This is her show. That's it.
Yep.
And that is the majority of the viewers. The majority of the viewers do not watch for a couple. They do not watch for a character. They do not watch for a storyline. They watch General
No.
Hospital.
Yep. Exactly.
And an interesting tidbit, Laura Wright was talking about how, that it's funny. We all make fun of how soaps repeat things so
Yeah.
many times. And she said that the reason they do that is that they've done studies, and they've done studies on how people watch soaps, and a lot of people, they have their soap opera on, but it's in the background while
Yeah.
they're doing something else, which is why they're so repetitive,
Yes.
because they know that people aren't completely even listening.
Yeah.
It's not, it's it would be fascinating to people if they would actually sit down and learn about these
Yeah.
things. I find it fascinating, but I'm a wonk with, I'm a nerd with things like this, so I love it.
Yeah.
But, so much goes into what the actual ratings picture is. So much goes into what the actual general audience is versus the social media audience. And they
Yeah.
just, and
The social media audience thinks that they're the most important part of everything.
and they're
It's not.
they're tops
They're a
10% of
minority.
the tops, and they don't even agree on anything.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? They don't
Yeah.
even, there's no universal agreement across the board on anything on social media about a soap opera,
No.
but
But
they
I think
think they speak. And that's why whenever I see somebody say, well, most of us, I'm like, no, 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 you,
yeah.
you, and perhaps your echo chamber.
Yes.
It's not that big of a, and like, people like come to me with like Twitter polls as proof of something. I'm like, this is 300 people.
That follow you as
Exactly.
opposed
I'm like,
to
and this isn't even unanimous in your
yeah.
300 people. There
Yep.
are four options.
Yep.
All of them have some support, even if one is overwhelming. You
Yeah.
couldn't even get 300 people to agree with the thing you thought.
Right. Yeah.
And the average viewing audience is millions of people an episode.
Yes.
Shut up and just speak for yourself,
Exactly.
is all
Exactly.
I'm saying.
Yeah. You're exactly right. Well, I mean, we've gone over just about everything and we've talked even more about other stuff. Um, but you know what? I have no problem with it because this is an absolutely enjoyable part. And it's entertaining and educational, and that's what I absolutely like about it. But seeing as I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, I'm about ready for bed.
I am so ready for bed. We went to the
So,
splash pad. It's
uh,
nanny. I'm a nanny, and it's summer vacation. So
oh, I could imagine.
yeah.
Mine, it's yeah, no, I absolutely understand. But anyways, folks, so a lot of stuff on the docket. As always, go over to sudsandsportcircle.com/Sudsy voting to vote on the Sudsy Awards. They are coming up. The voting ends on July 7th. If you want to win a copy of What Happened to Our Wrestling by Charlie Domino, also known as Charlie from Starkville, Mississippi, subscribe to this YouTube page and our podcast. If you subscribe to both and you send me the screenshot proof at Vinnie, Vinnie, at sudsandsportcircle.com, you gain one entry per subscription. If you subscribe to the YouTube, you get one. If you subscribe to the podcast, you get the other. If you subscribe to both, you get both. The winner will be announced on the Sudsy Awards on Sunday, July 21st, and then I'll contact the winner and get the information to get it sent to you. Also, we are an official affiliate of the WWE Shop, which is a Fanatics experience. Go over to sudsandsportcircle.com/wrestling merch. Pick up some WrestleMania merchandise. Pick up some Roman Reigns merchandise. Anything you buy from there gives us a discount from that special link. sudsandsportcircle.com/wrestling merch. And help us out to grow the show. And stay tuned to this this YouTube channel because we do have Dockside of the Bay every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern now. And then who knows what'll happen when we get something started with Studio City. So I'll just keep track because we are growing. I also want to give a good shout out to James Law Jr. JLJ Media is doing such a fantastic job with not only his after shows for soap operas, but also his audio dramas. So keep an eye out for that and all of his stuff that's coming up. Shout out to all of our podcasting friends, whether it's Pier 54 or the 10th floor, and even Dish and Days. So we do have a lot of podcasting friends in the soap opera realm. And then again, there's friends in the wrestling realm as well. Next Wednesday, July 3rd, I'm going to be recording an episode with Chairshot Sports as a Money in the Bank um, preview show. So keep an eye out for that as well. So we do have friends in all podcasting. Angela, again, as always, thank you so much for coming on. And check out
Anytime.
the show Petty Prattle
Betty
podcast.
Prattle. Yep.
Um, her
And
and
then we have days.
great
I have
job.
days for dummies with Matt and Kat
Yes,
too.
you do.
Yep.
And then the 10th floor also does a Thursday night show, the Skinny Dip. So
Mhm.
check them out as well. But we all have stuff going on and we're growing. So that's the most important thing is growth.
It's fun.
So yes, it is. It absolutely is. We still again want to send our best wishes out to Christy as she's healing herself up and getting stuff taken care of on her end. But you know what? In the meantime, we're having fun. So that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
All right. So for Angela, I'm Vinny. We will see you next week back at its regular time slot, Monday night at 10 p.m. here on